Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moment of truth. Can the Nari, Shakti, Adhinayam, the women's bill that guarantees 33% reservation for women in the Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies pass the number game in the Lok Sabha? What does the math tell us? The math is simple. This is going to be a constitutional amendment, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, it has been bundled with delimitation, which is where the problem is coming as far as the opposition is concerned. So of all members that you are seeing on the floor of the House right now, 543, of those present, at least 2/3 have to vote in support of the bill. Is that going to be possible? Does the government have the numbers? So far, by the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen, the government doesn't have the numbers, and possibly the government knows it as well. Let's just look at whether the bill can pass or not. Of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We'll know in the next few moments. The gallery is being cleared because there is going to be a division of votes. But Madhav, if you look at the strength, of the Lok Sabha right now, 2/3 majority will be what? 360. The government has 392. They can do what they want to do and what they need to do, but getting 360 is looking slightly tough, Madhav.
292. In fact, getting 360 or 2/3 is certainly not the numbers that government has on board at the moment. And you're absolutely right. What is the purpose then of government pushing these amendments through? There was a lot of speculation as to what will the government do. Will they, for instance, send this to a standing committee before the vote happens if they're not able to cobble up the numbers? At the moment, it appears that the government is going to put this to vote. You saw the Prime Minister coming into the House just seconds rather after Home Minister Amit Shah finished his reply to the entire debate. But what is very interesting is the manner in which the government, the treasury benches have been emphasizing the impact of what will happen. In fact, in a last-minute turn, we even saw Home Minister Amit Shah saying that if you want 50% to be put on record in the form of an amendment, I'm prepared to do that. The amendment is ready. Allow me to photocopy that and circulate it to all the members, and we can even put that to vote. To which KC Venugopal said, we not just want that 50%, we also want a delinking of the Women's Reservation Bill with the delimitation bill. So a heated face-off that we've seen. Rahul Gandhi also speaking and trying to attack the government on various counts. His magician phrase causing a huge amount of flutter inside the House as well. But what is very significant, and I think the big takeaway is going to be how the government is going to be projecting this. The BJP in particular is going to be projecting this entire series of events over the past 48 hours and is going to be taking this further to the people, because from the looks of it, repeatedly we've seen the Prime Minister say, if you want credit, I'll even give you credit for it. We've seen the Home Minister say, don't deprive the women of the country their rightful place. So such and such statements coming repeatedly from the government shows or indicates that this is something that is going to go way beyond Parliament itself. Remember, there are at least 2 states which yet have to vote. There is the state of Tamil Nadu, but there's also the very, very crucial state of West Bengal, where the TMC and the BJP are engaged in a bitter battle. What will be the implications of this if they take such a narrative to on ground to a state such as West Bengal? All these are going to be very crucial aspects, and you can wait and see how exactly they will be evolving their strategy. It's not very often, Shreya, let me also tell our viewers that right after the voting on a crucial bill, that an NDA meet is called. At the moment, that's likely to happen, and we're also told that in all likelihood, it will be the Prime Minister who will be chairing that meeting. All of this clearly shows that there is a lot of positioning, a lot of political positioning that the BJP is expected to do, that the NDA is expected to do following this particular vote that's going to be in the House. One will have to see what really will be their announcement and strategy following this.
All right, we'll just wait for a couple of moments and see whether the bill can pass through. As Madhav is telling us, possibly not, because the government doesn't have the numbers right now. Let's go back to what's happening in the Lok Sabha. I think the voting is starting.
मतदान की प्रक्रिया के बारे में बताएंगे.
माननीय सदस्यों का ध्यान स्वचालित मतदान रिकॉर्डिंग प्रणाली का संचालन करने से संबंधित बिंदुओं की ओर आकर्षित किया जाता है. प्रत्येक माननीय सदस्य को मत विभाजन आरंभ होने से पूर्व अपना स्थान ग्रहण करना चाहिए और इस प्रणाली का संचालन उस स्थान से ही करना चाहिए. जब माननीय अध्यक्ष अब मत विभाजन बोलेंगे तो महासचिव मतदान बटन को एक्टिवेट करेंगे और इसके साथ साथ गोंग की ध्वनि सुनाई देगी। मतदान के लिए केवल गोंग की ध्वनि के बाद ही, कृपया ध्यान दें कि केवल गोंग की ध्वनि के बाद ही माननीय सदस्य हेडफोन प्लेट पर मल्टीमीडिया डिवाइस के बाईं ओर लगे वोट सिक्योर बटन और हेडफोन प्लेट पर दाईं ओर लगे निम्नलिखित बटनों में से कोई एक बटन साथ साथ दबाएं। हाँ, हरे रंग के स्टिकर के नीचे, नहीं लाल रंग के स्टिकर के नीचे। मतदान में भाग नहीं लेना, पीले रंग के स्टिकर के नीचे। गोंग ध्वनि दूसरी बार सुनाई देने तक दोनों बटनों को दबाए रखना अनिवार्य है। माननीय सदस्य कृपया नोट करें कि उनके मत दर्ज नहीं होंगे यदि बटनों को पहली गोंग ध्वनि सुनाई देने से पहले दबा दिया जाता है या दोनों बटनों को दूसरी गोंग ध्वनि सुनाई देने तक एक साथ दबाकर नहीं रखा जाता है। माननीय सदस्य दूसरी गोंग ध्वनि के कुछ सेकंड के पश्चात अंतिम परिणाम वास्तव में देख सकते हैं। माननीय सदस्य माननीय अध्यक्ष के आसन के किसी भी तरफ संस्थापित व्यक्तिगत परिणाम डिस्प्ले बोर्डों पर, मल्टीमीडिया डिवाइस पर और हाँ, नहीं, मतदान में भाग नहीं लेने वाले बटन, जैसा भी मामला हो, पर अपने मत की जांच कर सकते हैं। मत दर्ज नहीं होने की दशा में अथवा यदि कोई सदस्य अपने मत में परिवर्तन करना चाहते हैं तो वे पर्ची के माध्यम से मतदान की मांग कर सकते हैं। अंग्रेजी में Kind attention of honorable members is invited to the points in the operation of the automatic vote recording system. Before a division starts, every honorable member should occupy his or her own seat and operate the system from that seat only. When the honorable speaker says, "Now division," the Secretary General will activate the voting button and a gong sound will be heard simultaneously. For voting, only after the sound of the gong, repeat, only after the sound of the gong, honorable members may simultaneously press the vote secure button towards the left side of the multimedia device on the headphone plate and any one of the following buttons fixed on the right side of the headphone plate. For yes, below green color sticker, no, below red color sticker, abstain below yellow color sticker. It is essential to keep both the buttons pressed till another gong is heard. Honorable members may please note that their votes will not be registered if buttons are kept pressed before the first gong or both buttons are not kept simultaneously pressed till the second gong. Honorable members can actually see the final result after a gap of a few seconds after the second gong. Honorable members can check their vote on individual result display boards installed on either side of Honorable Speaker's chair, the multimedia device, and also on the yes, no, abstain button as the case may be. In case vote is not registered or if any member wishes to change their vote, they may call for voting through slips.
अब मत विभाजन।
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the status of voting in the Lok Sabha right now, voting for a constitutional amendment, which means two-thirds majority is required. The total number of MPs who have voted, 489. Just correct me if I'm wrong, but 489 is the total number of MPs who have voted. 278, it's a resounding yes. 211 is a no. How many MPs have abstained? 0 MPs have abstained. So the numbers on your screens. Question is, has the Nari Shakti Adhinayam fallen flat, not passed muster, or has it passed the numbers test? Let me go across to Madhav, who is joining us on the broadcast. Madhav, by the looks of it, the bill has possibly fallen flat, but we'll wait for the Speaker to make that announcement.
Well, of the 3 bills, 2 are constitutional amendments, Shreya, as we've been discussing, and therefore they require two-thirds of the members present and voting, and which means that 66% of the members present and voting should actually vote aye. In this case, it's 278 out of 489, which means that it is 56%, a good 10% short of that two-third mark. But what is very interesting is that in the total strength of the House, the numbers are actually falling short. Of that 543 members, the fact that there are only 489 present, and therefore raising a serious question about where the rest of the 54 members are. Certainly there are elections on in several of the larger states like West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Is that why we have a significant absence? Is there something more at play here? We don't know. But certainly at the moment, going by the numbers that are there before us, it appears to be short of that two-third number. We are of course going to await the final announcement coming in from the chair over there of the Speaker. But this is just the first of many votes that actually have to be put into effect. And what will be very interesting to see is if these numbers change at all. Now that, of course, the lobbies have been cleared, quite unlikely it will be the same number as far as the other sets of votings is concerned as well. But what really happens once this bill falls is also going to be very, very crucial, as we've been discussing, Shreya. What will be the strategy of the government? What will be the strategy of BJP and the NDA going forward in terms of the narrative that they want to build? That's going to be interesting to see, given that all of this is happening even as there are upcoming elections. Of course, next Thursday is when there is the first phase of voting in West Bengal.
Sure.
There's also the voting in Tamil Nadu, and the week after that will be the second phase of voting in West Bengal as well. How much of this will actually have an impact, politically speaking, as far as that is concerned? These are going to be some of the interesting aspects that we're going to be looking at later this evening as well. But at the moment, 278 versus 211 out of a total of 489 votes cast in the Lok Sabha.
All right. For all practical purposes, if you go by the numbers on your screens, the Nari Shakti bill has been defeated, but we will wait for the Speaker to make that official announcement. Madhav, what is happening right now on our screens was a given. We knew that the government doesn't have two-thirds majority that is required for a constitutional amendment. What is a surprise, Madhav, is the 54 MPs who simply didn't show up despite there being a whip across all parties.
Well, there were about 100 MPs who were missing in Parliament yesterday as well, as you rightly put it, Shreya. And, therefore, that number seems to be relatively higher in terms of the total number of MPs who are not present and voting in the House. Now, which party are they from? Who is it who has not attended the House? Do they have valid reasons, given the fact, as you rightly said, a whip has been put into place? And normally parties are quite strict to enforce these whips, particularly when it comes to crucial legislation. Okay. If you look at it from here, I can't tell you where the members are missing from, from my vantage point, or at least this camera's vantage point. But certainly this is something that we'll be bringing to the viewers, because clearly something in terms of the presence on ground, presence inside the floor of the House, on the floor of the House, is something that doesn't quite add up for such a crucial legislation. And therefore it will be interesting to see and find out which those parties are, which those members are, and what exactly their motivation or reason is for being absent in the House.
Let